Hello, I'm Gary Quinn, and welcome to another episode of Ready, Set, Live. My guest today is Jay Ivey. He is a pioneer, a trendsetter who has knocked down doors that have been impossible, taking the art of poetry directly to mainstream music and television arenas. His motivational motto, "Dreams don't come true, they are true." This has guided him from his native home in Chicago to being featured on a 3-time Grammy Award-winning album, as well as becoming a Grammy, Peabody, Clio, Telly, and NAACP Image Award-winning poet and artist. In February of 2023, he won a Grammy for his latest album, The Poet Who Sat by the Door, becoming the first poet to win in the Grammy Award-winning new category, Best Spoken Word Poetry Album. Don't go away. I'll be right back with Jay Ivey. Welcome to the show, Jay. It's so great to have you.
Gary, what's going on, my man?
I'm so happy to have you, and congratulations on this recent Grammy win. I was so excited when I saw it.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful whirlwind, man. But living the dream.
So, talking about dream, when you started out, what was the dream? When you were a little boy, was there an intention, or did you just say, this is what I'm going to do? Or was it a sense of finding your own way slowly?
Yeah, I mean, at that time, I was still finding myself. I knew I was drawn to the arts as far as hip hop, and I was drawn to acting. I was one of those kids that watched Star Wars a million times and became very familiar with the characters and their movements and their mannerisms. And so I was drawn to that, but I didn't know that it would become a life path of my own until I met my English teacher, my junior year of high school, Miss Paula Argue. And what I learned is you're not going to argue with somebody named Miss Argue. And she had the class write a poem for homework. And then the next day, after reading the poem in class, she made everybody read their poem. She asked me to perform this talent show, and I didn't do the first one. A few weeks later, she approached me again. She said, "You know what? Last time I asked you to do a show, you faked me out. I have another show coming up. This time I'm not asking you. You have to do it." So she made me do a show, and my first time on stage, I received a standing ovation. And immediately my life changed and my eyes were open to just endless possibilities. And that's really where the dream really began for me.
And I think it's so great that teachers inspire, many kids growing up, whether it's acting, it's poetry, it's business, whatever. I think it's such a infusion of hope and faith to build someone. After you left high school, what was the next route? Did you say, I want to write songs, or I was, inspired to do more acting? What was the next step after that?
Well, through high school, I was performing at a lot of assemblies and talent shows. So when I went to college, I went to Illinois State University. At that point, I was already in love with the stage. So I was really looking for ways to find my way back on stage, even though I was in this new environment. I'm a freshman. I'm the new kid on the block, with a few friends that I met back, from back home that were also going to the school. So I was really just trying to find my way. And then I had an English professor in college, and she heard this poem that I wrote for this girl for Sweetest Day. And she had a show coming up. She was in a sorority, Delta Sigma Theta sorority, Incorporated. And she asked me if I could write a poem and perform it in this talent show. And I was like, oh, wow, I could perform what I write. Because up until that point, I was doing speeches or monologues or different parts that were given to me. So in college, that's when I started performing my own work. And it was just a natural progression. But it was definitely centered around poetry. It was always, okay, let me write this poem. Let me write another poem and another poem, another poem. Okay, these two I'm gonna perform. And I just kept building, I guess building my catalog, or building different selections that I could perform for my classmates and whoever was willing to listen.
Were you inspired by someone? I know Maya Angelou is really connected with you. You have a big connection there, but it's always great to be inspired by other people that, not that you're emulating them, but they're the trailblazers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm a hip hop baby. So my original inspiration outside of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he was who I wanted to speak like. I wanted to command the stage and use my voice in a way that would touch people in a way that he did. And then I'm a hip hop baby, so I was always drawn to the MCs, so Slick Rick the Ruler, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Common. These were folks that I looked up to and fell in love with the art of storytelling. Yes, there were amazing poets that I would talk about in school. Great Maya Angelou, the great Langston Hughes, Nikki Giovanni. But when I got to college, the one who really opened my eyes up was a moment where I had an advisor, and he invited me to a meeting, and he said, I see you performing around campus, and I have someone you should check out. And he opens up his drawer, and he pulls out this purple book. Matter of fact, I still have the book. Matter of fact, I still have this book. He pulled this book out his drawer. I still got to get it. So
I love it.
But yeah, Gil Scott Heron. So far so good. And then I remember walking around campus with this book and reading it and just being amazed by the way he wrote. My mind just opened up. I was like, oh wow, I can write like this. Like this is how I want to structure my storytelling and add rhythm to it and cadence that I hadn't tapped into quite yet with my own writing.
Did you find growing up that there were some kids, because, there's always these bullies or these people that are, wanting to tear you down or keep you from living your dream. Did you have any of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in college, it was, there was a lot of positivity. It's more positivity than anything, but there were those who say, oh man, poetry is soft. Oh, get that out of here. Like, what you doing? Oh, you a punk, you this, you that. And it was just amazing that something that I was so in love with, I was just so driven by it. I couldn't help but pick up the pen and write down these ideas. And I knew it was coming from my heart. And I knew it was coming from my soul. And at that point, I had so many positive reinforcements from Ms. Argue to my mother, to my boys, to people who had stood up on their feet to clap for me. I had so many examples at this point of the power of what I had. So while there were those who were trying to knock it, I knew that this was something I was put here to do. So I just ignored it, or I used it for fuel to prove the naysayers wrong.
Yes, and that's why you really are an innovator of stepping out of your history and stepping into your destiny. And so that in itself shows that you were always working with love, because that's what you loved, as you wanted to share it with the world. And I've seen you in action, and when you speak, whoa, it's magic on stage. So I think growing up, I think a lot of individuals have a hard time staying focused because of certain situations. But you had a lot of positive, great people who saw it in you.
Yeah, the positivity that I was surrounded by. We need those villages. We need that community. None of us do it on our own. And for me, being a kid who had low self-esteem and lacked confidence and was unsure of himself, I really, really needed that positive reinforcement. And then the more I dove into my art, the more I found my confidence growing, and the more alive I felt. I felt alive on stage. I felt alive when I was writing, and I still do. And that life support came from those who were around me, telling me that they were proud, telling me that this is what you were meant to do, telling me that I was a leader and didn't know it, and just constantly feeding me things that I could use to help me get to the next moment and the next and the next. And if it wasn't for a long line of very beautiful, positive people in my life, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Brilliant. Along the way, do you do any, or do you practice any spiritual rituals daily that is part of your energy?
Yeah, I pray, I meditate. I'm a believer in God. I know my gift has been given to me. I know it channels through me. So even when I write, I always describe my writing as a form of meditation. I quiet myself, I breathe, and I listen. And for me, my job as a poet is to catch what I'm hearing. So I listen to my heart, I listen to my soul, I listen to the ancestors, I listen to my angels, I listen to God, and I'm grateful for the poetry that comes to me. I'm always amazed when I go back and read something. I'm like, man, that wasn't me. that came from somewhere else.
It's true, because when you channel this higher energy and you use that essence, it's a divine information, the flow. And I think when people get into the ego, that's when they edge God out. And they start to like really think, oh, it's me. It's not me. It's not you. We're just up there vessels of this guidance of love and light, and really sharing that. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think many people are unhappy because they can't really find that. Why do you think so many people are unhappy? Is that part of it, or is there something else you think that might be causing it?
Well, for me, I feel like we've all been chosen and we've all been given certain gifts. And along with those gifts, we're given signs. And sometimes we listen to the signs and sometimes we don't. I have a quote that says, instincts are the seeds of our purpose. So even when I was a young artist, a young man trying to find my way, didn't have any idea where I was going. It was my instinct. My instinct was the guiding light. My instinct was the signs that I needed to help me along the way. You know, instincts are the seeds of our purpose. It helped me discover what my divine purpose is. So I feel like we all are blessed with that. I think it's just a matter of listening and being fearless and having the courage to go after it in spite of the challenges that come to us in life. Because it's, nothing's easy. It's hard work, but when you do what you love to do, and I feel like that's when it's really discovered, when you tap into what it is you love to do, what just comes easiest to you. I remember hearing somebody speak and say that the things that come easiest to you, more than likely, that's what you were put here to do. So for me, writing it's like breathing. You give me something to write about, and it's on the page. So it's like breathing. Is what I love, and I feel fortunate that I was able to listen and be fearless enough, crazy enough, confident enough, whatever it is, enough of whatever to just keep going. Because a big part of it is just to keep going.
So when you were nominated for the Grammy, what was that like? I mean, that's always my last guest is nominated for an Academy Award in BAFTA, and he just won the BAFTA, and he was so shocked that he was nominated. But it's so sweet to see that. What was it like for you?
Yeah, shock is absolutely the first reaction. You just can't believe it. And then immediately after the shock, here comes the screams. Here comes here comes the tears. Here comes the you just like, oh my God, I can't believe this. But then it for me, it was just an overwhelming feeling of gratitude. I was just so grateful. I just kept thanking God, like, thank you for even choosing me to, or even blessing me with this gift that has has been able to touch so many people. And then you have your peers and other music makers or other creatives that deem your work one of the best. So being nominated is like, okay, we think this is one of the best projects we heard this year. So to have that feeling, is, oh my God, calling my wife, calling my mama, calling whoever I can call, like just amazed. And it's just a lot of excitement, a lot of joy. And then to take it a step further to get to the win.
Exactly.
And just to see, oh my God, just everybody is so happy.
I think your wife was more happy than anybody.
Yeah,
she was on the red carpet.
Oh
she was shining and working that red carpet going, I'm here.
Yeah, big shout out to Tari Teray, my wife and creative partner. She's the reason I even did this album. She really pushed me and motivated and to create this album, and then created it along with me. She's a singer and a songwriter and producer, and so she was really the engine when it came to this album. So, and she also won as well for her work on the project. But she was so excited.
She won a Grammy too.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
We need to tell the world about that.
Yeah. From being co-executive producer to her production and her writing, her singing. So you hear her vocals throughout the album, her concepts throughout the album. So yeah, we did this one together, and I'm happy I listened to her.
That's so great that you guys can work as a team. I think that's the ultimate in life, when you have a partner that you can share and bounce things off. And I mean, that's blessed.
Yeah, man. It's truly a blessing. It's a lot of fun. Even when the work is overwhelming, we have each other to bounce ideas off of and just help guide the ship. So she's been amazing throughout my whole career, from my very first album. I remember she was the first one to tell me that I had a good singing voice. And I remember I had this song. This was back in like 99, I was doing a project with this group out of Chicago named Abstract Mind State. And I came up with this hook, and I was riding to her house. I'm like, I got this hook. I want you to sing it. And I sang it to her. I was like, why don't you have a talk with me so I can show you the sights that I see? Why don't you lend a thought to me so I can take you to places I be? Why don't you take a walk with me through this abstract mind state of mind? So, babe, I need you to sing this hook. She's like, no, you need to sing that hook. and it was always that encouragement to make me look in the mirror and say, what? Like, yeah, like, you think I can? And she's like, yeah, that sounds good. And then, one step after the next, and here we are.
That is great. If you were granted one wish for humanity or for our planet, what would it be?
Oh, man, love and peace. I don't know if that's two, but I do believe that love brings peace. I'll say love and peace. I feel that, one, there's enough abundance in this world. There's enough for everyone to coexist. I think we get driven by ego, driven by jealousy, driven by just the negative energy. It's just too much negative energy that we feed into. And I think if we were able to all find love in our hearts for ourselves, because it starts with loving yourself first. You can't love anyone else unless you love yourself. So if you can find that love and find that peace within you, then you can share that with others. And I think it would be just a much joyful world. And that's always been my intention with my work. Just let me just keep promoting love and peace, because that's what I wish for in my life and my family and friends and my community. And And that's what I wish for everyone. I want everyone to feel love and peace. You know, we felt the other side of it, and it doesn't feel good. So I want to
Well, love is all there is.
it is.
Really.
It is. We just forget, you know, we tend to forget. So I want to keep promoting
If
love
you
and
could
peace.
go back into time and ask one question to anyone from history, who would it be and what would you ask them?
Oh, wow. Wow. I mean, my father just keeps ringing in my head. Like I'm trying to get down the list, but I can't get past my father. So my dad, who I love, he was in my life when I was younger, and divorce happened. I didn't hear from him for 10 years, and then he made his transition. A year and a half after we reconnected, he made his transition. And when I think of my book of memories, when it comes to me and my father, there are a lot of blank pages. So I think what I would ask him, oh my God, it'll be just so many questions. Like it's so many questions that I didn't ask when he was here. And I'm just curious, like, you know, like what was his biggest love? What were his goals? What were his dreams? Like what was you know, certain people in our family, what were they like? I would just ask about our history and our lineage and like his passions. I know that's not one question, but I mean, yeah, when it comes to my father, I just have so many questions, and but it would all be centered in love. I know he's here with me, and I feel like a lot of the questions I have are being answered through the work that I'm able to do now.
Wow. Well, I am so happy for you. And, you know, the first time we met, it was instant love. We had that connection, and I've never forgot that meeting. And I'm so proud of you. And I wish you so much success. And next time you're in LA, I'm taking you for lunch or dinner to celebrate.
Let's do it.
Continued success in all the new projects and all the great things you're doing from the divine. And I am just so happy you had this time with me.
No, I sincerely thank you. You know, when we met, I left Sun Valley, and shortly after that, we went into the studio to work on his album, The Poet Who Sat by the Door. So we took all that great energy, all that love that we were able to be a part of there in Idaho, and you know, from folks that came in from all over the world, and we just poured it into this project. So, man, I'm honored, and I really appreciate you having me on. I would love for you to come out to a show. We have the tour coming.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
yeah, we're doing a city winery tour starting at the end of March, and I'm excited because we get to kick March off. You know, March 3rd. This is my birthday.
That's
303.
right. Fellow Pisces brother.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you'll send me the dates, and I'll look and see. I can pop over to say hey.
Yeah, because I would love citywinery.com. All the dates are there.
Okay.
Chicago, New York, DC, Philly.
Okay, so people can go to city. What is it?
Citywinery.com.
and see
your
where
tickets.
they check you out and see you in all these cities. Well, I thank you.
Yeah.
I wish you
And
a
bring the
great
man.
energy today, and thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you so much, Gary Quinn.
Great. I'm Gary Quinn. Thank you for joining me on this special episode of Ready, Set, Live. Until next time, be well.